Outside the Box Reviews, we are taking a look at the NECA Friday the 13th, the final chapter, Jason Voorhees prop replica mask. And I was very excited for these. If you've already watched my review on the Freddy vs. Jason mask they released, I had some issues with it, but looking at the pictures, it seemed that they had cleaned up some of those issues with this mask, and they were releasing both this and a Part 3 mask simultaneously since they are basically the same design. Now, I have yet to find the Part 3 in stores. I found this at my local Toys R Us, and I don't know if the Part 3 is coming out as well to retail, but I hope to find it there one day. If not, I'll just have to order it off Amazon or something. But this is another entry in NECA's prop replica line, a fairly low budget prop replica, so it's not going to break your bank to pick this guy up, but let's take a closer look. Right off the bat, I'm going to list my biggest gripe with this. The chevrons look kind of sloppy. They're obviously painted on instead of stickers or anything, and they just kind of have this amateurly painted look to them. They just don't look good. You can definitely see the brush strokes in them. It's not the biggest issue. I'm pretty sure I can go online and actually find decal kits to replicate these that are made by other companies. I might just go ahead and do that and see if I can cover these up with some better looking ones, but it's a little annoying. The nose does have some nice dirt on it. There's dirt all over the mask, actually. All these different marks and everything. This is very used, very much what you'd see closer to the end of the film. And then, of course, my favorite part, we have the axe wound up here in the head with a nice heavy coat of blood in it. This is done pretty nice. The edges are a little more feathery looking than I'd like them to be, but overall, pretty solid. These straps actually have the metal buckles, the metal rivets, which I definitely like. There's also the rivets down here at the lower part of the mask that are painted yellow, kind of like the rest of the mask. The yellow I'm not huge on. It's definitely a little more yellow than I think it was in the film, but looking at it on camera, it actually looks about right. So maybe it's just the difference between what the prop looked like and what I expected to look like because of the movie. And obviously we all know movies aren't always the best example of what something actually looked like on set. Coming around to the back, we can see that the strap is improved also with an adjustable top piece to it, which I really like. And then the inside is just pretty much blank. So this is the third Jason replica mask I've owned. I have the fiberglass mask part 6 and the Freddy vs. Jason from NECA that I previously reviewed. Actually, I've reviewed both of those by now. And I must say, this is the most comfortable one I own. This is actually very wearable. If you were going to like a Halloween or a costume party, this is definitely something I think you could spend the whole night wearing and not really be annoyed by it. Now, while I'm talking, just like with the Freddy vs. Jason mask, it is kind of pushing the mask upward because of my mouth movements. But you know what? It's not something you're going to be talking a lot in if you're trying to be the Jason character, so I don't think that's that big of a deal. But the strap's very comfortable. It's not pinching anywhere on my face, and I just really like it. It's very comfortable to wear, as I said before. The fiberglass mask is very well fitting, and once again, I have a large head, so I think if it was somebody with a slightly smaller head, it wouldn't be as bad, but it is very tight to my face when I wear that one. And the Freddy vs. Jason one is just plain uncomfortable because of the way these holes are on the inside and everything. But this is very, very wearable, which I think is awesome. So overall, I am a fan of this mask. I think NECA very much cleaned up their act from the Freddy vs. Jason one. As I said, none of that was a bad mask, but this is definitely better. This is a much more comfortable and just overall effective mask to wear. My only gripe is with the red paint, really. It's the chevrons look a little sloppy, and the edges of the blood is a little overly feathered. It looks a little too done by humans and not enough like blood dripping. But it's still a very good mask, and from a distance, I think it's going to look great in your collection. It just doesn't hold up quite as well under inspection as a higher end piece would be, but this is not a high end piece. This is a fairly inexpensive piece, and for that, it gets a high recommend. If you really want a Jason mask and you don't want to spend a lot of money, this is the way to go. This is freaking cool. So definitely high recommend for this mask. As I said, NECA put out a part 3, which I'm going to try to track down. It's basically the same mask. They're also going ahead and doing a NES Jason, which is the same mask again. And it looks like that one's just going to be the glow-in-the-dark plastic. This still feels more like the resin that the Freddy vs. Jason mask was made out of, so I really don't know if that one's actually going to glow, the NES version, but it looks like it does. Maybe it'll be made out of different materials. I don't know. Maybe I'll just have glow-in-the-dark paint. But I do hope NECA continues on with this. To me, the next logical step would be a part 6, but since I already own that, it's not one I'm really super excited about. But I would love a part 7 where it's a little more chopped up. Even a part 8 would be cool, even if I don't know if it'd be a huge seller. The plus side with Jason masks is they all come off the same buck with the exception of the Jason X mask. Jason X mask is the only hockey mask in the entire franchise that wasn't based off the original part 3 mold. So really, you have one mask, you can kind of modify it to be a lot of different things. Make sure you check me out on Instagram, username Outside the Box Reviews. Also check me out on Facebook, link below. And until next time, this has been our Outside the Box Reviews. You'll never come back again. It's got a death curse. That was awful.